Hey guys, it's Elise from Blossom Elise, and today we're going to be painting! So we're going to be painting this little eye. I'm going to be teaching you a blending technique, and which is here, and we're going to be using that into our eye. So there's also going to be incorporating with a little bit of line technique as well, but I'll explain it all to you in the video. So let's get started. Now we're going to be using all the techniques that we've learned in our previous two videos of how to use the watercolor tubes and pans, and whether you're using the watercolor or tubes or pans, it's still going to be the same thing. Now I'm really sorry that I didn't actually record me loading up the brush, and I promise I will in my next video. So what you want to do is load up your brush with the watercolor paint. You want to try and get as much color onto your brush as possible. Now I've taken a blue color here, and then I've rinsed my brush out and done the same with the purple color. After you put the two amounts of the dark color, I've grabbed just some clear water and I'm just slightly bringing it to the top of the blue and then to the top of the purple, and you'll see the colors start to mix in. And then what I do is I gradually, so I've rinsed my brush in between, and then what I do is I gradually pull the color down into the center, and you'll see that the water in between is actually starting to blend together. I then go back and get more of the watercolor paint, the really strong colored watercolor paint, and I put on more of that on top. And so that rich watercolor paint that I've put on top, I'm bringing that down so that it blends in together. You can see that I'm not fully mixing the colors on the paper, but I'm just letting them blend in together by themselves because this will give us a really nice texture at the end. I'm then lightly taking my brush and very, very lightly mixing in the middle. And I've just done a little speed up here so you can see how they dry and what they look like when they're dry. I started out with watercolor paper and a HB pencil, and I've just really lightly drawn the image that I want to be painting. Right now I'm grabbing a rubber, and what you want to do is gently, with sweeping motions, we're going to rub out the pencil until it's barely visible. So you want to do it until you can just see it. You don't want it to be too dark, otherwise it will show up under the illustration. But again, you want to be able to have an outline, something that you can start with the painting, so it gives you an idea of what you already want. So throughout this video, after I've explained things, I'm just going to do a quick little speed up so you can see me doing it, but so that this video doesn't run for too long. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing really lightly around the edges of the eye with thin brush strokes, and just trying to make a really, really nice even line. So after I've drawn a really thin line, I'm grabbing my brush, I'm just rinsing it out into the water, and then putting a little bit of water onto the paper and drawing the colors out while they're still wet. And you can see this is the technique that we learnt before, but just with the one color. So basically we're just trying to blend out the black so we don't have any harsh lines there. After that, we're going to grab our blue color and just start putting that lightly into where we put the black. And you can see that I've just put the watercolor straight on, and then I'm rinsing my brush out, getting some clear water and pulling the color out a bit more. And you just keep on pulling that out until it gives you the effect that you want. And you can see here that I haven't put any more paint in my brush, but I'm just dabbing straight back into the water and pulling the color out so it gives us a really nice wash. Again, then we do it on the other side. So after we finish pulling the blue color out, we're going to rinse our brush again and just putting plain clear water all around the inside. Now this is going to give us a really good surface to blend the next color through. So we're just putting the clear water all over the inside of the eye. Then you want to grab a little bit of purple and starting from the inside, see how the water underneath is just making it blend out straight away. So we're just grabbing a little bit, not too much of the watercolor paint, so we've just grabbed a bit of a light wash here. And then again, we're pulling it all out with our blending technique. I've then dipped my brush in quite a lot so that I've got a really nice rich coloured paint, and I'm just slightly dabbing that around where I want the colour to blend out more. Then you can see again I've rinsed my brush, and with the clear water, just a really little bit on our brush, not too much. We don't want to put too much water on the paper, and I'm just bringing that colour out again. You can see I'm doing the blending technique here by grabbing a few little bits of the blue, and then with the damp brush, just blending them out before they're dry. And basically I just keep on doing that until I feel as though it looks like what I want it to look like. So after you've done the colour in the eye, then you want to wait for it to dry a little bit. Once it's dried a little bit, so you don't feel like the colour is going to run too much or blend out too much, then I've loaded my brush up with black watercolour, and I'm just putting that into the centre of the eye where the pupil would be. You can see that while my paper was not quite dry, it has, the edges have feathered a little bit, but that's okay because it's all in the water style technique. Now again, we're just going back to the outside, and now that it's dried a little bit, we're deepening up the colours of the eye. So basically watercolour is really about layering our watercolours. So throughout this whole video, we're just using the same blending technique, where we put a bit of the really strong coloured watercolour, and then we're blending it out with the water, or with just a damp brush. So after we've kind of got the colour that we like, I've then dampened my brush a bit, and I'm just pulling out the black colour in the middle so that it gives us more of a watercolour effect rather than some really harsh lines. And you can see that while the inside colour has mostly dried, with a little bit of water on our brush, we are able to pull it out a little bit. If you feel that the colour isn't dark enough, then after you've pulled the colours into each other, then you can go in again and make it darker and make the colours more vibrant. So what I've done is I've just really gradually traced out the outline with my paintbrush, and you can see that I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just darkening out the edges with a really fine, small amount of watercolour onto my paintbrush. So with my lines here, with the eyelashes, basically I've drawn the black out, and then you can see that the colour hasn't quite got enough liquid to it, so it's kind of blotched. So what I do then is I grab my wet paintbrush filled with just the plain water, and I blend it around until it's almost completely gone. I then grab a tissue and soak up the rest. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you want to see more of it. We're just going to be getting more and more advanced from now on, so I'm really excited to see all of your paintings. If you on Instagram, if you hashtag your painting Illustrate with Elise, and I'll be able to see all of them, give you comments, hints and ideas, advice, anything if you have any questions or troubles. Just really want to see all of your paintings and see how you guys are going. If you have anything that you want to see for a future video, any particular pictures or techniques, or hey, I want to know how to do this, don't forget to leave it in the comments section below, and I'll get back to you as best as I can, and I listen to all of your ideas and I love to hear all of your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.